it was so funny. I was
The same
laughing
people are
so hard at that.
running.
Right, right. Vote for new leadership by voting for the same people who've been leading your community. you know, and 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 it was honestly so funny. I wish I could show everybody, but he actually took it down after I made that comment.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the TOWTalk podcast. It is Tuesday evening. We've got.
Breaking news.
There we go. He insisted that it has to come from him. So anyway, the things we do. So we got a story for you. Regarding the election. As you know, we started early voting over the weekend, and the ads are coming out, and I'm telling you, it's really getting real. I think the Republicans might be feeling a little bit of heat in our town. Tell me what you
I
think,
think
Neil.
I think everybody's feel. I think I really think when it's come to politics, everybody's lost their goddamn mind.
Oh, yeah,
I really do.
absolutely.
Right? So here in New York, right? There was a law passed where they wanted to do so all our local elections are in odd years, right? All
Yeah,
the state and federal elections, right, are in even years, right? That was done because they felt that in order that people would be more apt to, if they're going to vote locally, that they're going to want to know that they know the local issues, right?
right.
You just don't want random people in your community voting for a line when they don't know what the real issues are in your community, right? And so that was the whole idea, right? So, in New York State, they decided that because there's such low turnout, right, in these local elections, okay, that they wanted to increase turnout, and to do that, they switched them to even years.
Right.
So this year is the last odd year election that we have for local elections, whether they be the county or whether they be your local township.
Right.
Okay. And, so everybody running this year for like a town board seat, for the most part, if it's a 2-year seat, is running for 1 year.
For 1 year. We got to do this
For
again
1
next
year.
year.
Right. So you got to do all this again next year. They've lost their goddamn minds. Like, think about it, right? You're running for a $20,000 a year or $15,000 a year council seat, right? And you're out there spending 10 grand on lawn signs, on mailer, like a mailer in the town our size. Like, so we have like roughly about 35,000, 36,000
It's not
people in our
that
town,
cheap.
right? Right. You want to do a town-wide mailer in this town, right? It's going to cost you somewhere between like $2,000 and $5,000. Okay. So, right. Like one of the supervisor candidates has already sent out like 2 mailers or 3 mailers already, right? Like, I mean, you have to be out of your goddamn mind, right? Like what is going on that you need to be in that job so badly, right? Like I get it, listen, I get certain things. I wanted to help out my community. I wanted to be in the job for a reason. It's the reason why I left the private sector and moved into government accounting. But like, this is insane. This is insanity. This is insanity everywhere I go. And the signs are replicating.
Oh, I know. They're like having baby signs. And they're
Like,
all. Let me tell you something. Like I've been out on the road today because you know that I'm on the
yeah.
road a lot in my career, my full-time career. All of the signs are concentrated here in Wallkill. Can I tell you? I mean, the signs are out of control around
They're
here.
like little amoebas, right? Like they're like
They're splitting.
they're splitting, right? So like one sign turns into 2 signs, 2 signs turn into
Just-
4 signs, 4 signs turn into 8 signs. Like it's insane. Like I drove down Tower Drive. So Tower Drive is where Town Hall is, right? So in our
Conveniently,
local
yes.
community, right? I have no idea how many Steve Newhouse, he's running for county executive, signs there are on Tower Drive. Like
I
he has to
know.
have like 30 signs
And
on
they're in
that
all
one road.
different colors. It's like all colors of
Right.
the rainbow. If you couldn't see the
Right.
green one, you could see the orange one. And then there's a blue one, there's a pink one. It's insane with these signs going down Tower
Oh my
Drive.
God. But even funnier. So then you get into the guys who are saying that we're not corrupt and we're not doing anything wrong, and we're the good guys and yada yada yada, right? Like this
This is
this is what they did, right?
wait,
Let's look
so
at
zoom
this
it
a
back out
second,
a little bit.
right? Okay.
Yeah, let's just so they could see that they're
Better,
on the ground. Yeah.
right? So somebody came along, okay, took all the Democratic signs that were on this corner and around town, right? This isn't just this corner. This is all
That's like
over
a whole
town,
neighborhood
right?
worth of signs right there.
Right. They took them. They went around town, took all the signs, and then like drove away because these weren't here at one point. Right, like people drove through and said that these signs weren't here at all, right? And then drove back and dropped the signs back off because they didn't want to be charged with theft, right?
Yeah.
So they just
I
so
hope they came along and put those signs back. They're back up, right?
right. I
Oh
don't
my
know.
god.
Listen, I don't know, but I mean, the guys who are telling us nothing to see here, this is the shit that they're pulling, right? I
They
you
are
know,
let me tell you
I'm
something.
trying
They
to
they are feeling the heat, and
uh,
it falls to what are they hiding? If you're investing as much money in this campaign as you're going to
right,
make, maybe more so, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for
right,
that. What are you
right,
hiding? What are you trying
right.
to cover up?
That's been my point for so long, right? So like it makes absolutely no sense. You think about it, they're running for a 1-year job. They're spending $10,000 to run for a 1-year job, if not more, okay, right? Just so that they can remain in
In
power,
power,
right?
yes.
And do this again for another, like we're gonna have a whole other year to do this again, right? Like it's not just this year. Like we got to go back through the same crap again, and it's like enough. Like get into a room instead of having a sign war. Right?
Sign,
How about
yeah.
instead of instead of
How about
having
a debate?
right? Get into guys. How about just do it the old school way? You get into a room. You invite the entire community because we have Zoom and we have all these other things. You get a moderator that comes in, me and Denise, all right, and what we and we just ask questions about
How
the
about a
town,
town
and then
hall?
and then we could hear both sides of it. You get to respond to each other's comments and blatant lies, and then the constituents can make an informed decision about who they want to lead this community. Like I am sick of the goddamn sign war. I am so
It's
sick of it.
hilarious.
Right? Every time I leave my house, the signs on Tower Drive have doubled. Like
Yeah.
doubled. And that's not a joke. Like I know people think that I'm joking when I say that. It is not a joke. Like literally they are doubling by the day.
Yeah. You know what I'll do when I go out tomorrow? I'll take my phone out. I'll snap some pictures. I'll post it up on our Facebook and Instagram. Yes, we weren't kidding. I've
Right.
never seen, and let me tell you, again, like I just said earlier, I'm on the road during the day. I'm driving around, and there are signs out there, but nothing like what's going on here.
They're
Nothing.
gonna have soon they're gonna have little baby signs, right?
Yeah.
Like there's not gonna be enough room for the real signs, so then they're gonna put baby signs on top of the real signs.
I mean, the money that they're dumping in with the signs,
Right.
and then the mailers. I mean, these are full color mailers that
Right.
Ralph is sending out there, uh, and then of course the videos that he's
Let's see a
doing.
debate. Let's see a debate. I mean,
Yeah, no, they don't
listen,
want to
listen,
debate. They don't want to talk
listen.
to constituents. They don't want to debate. They don't want to be caught.
I listen. I saw the funniest ad yesterday. The funniest ad, right, from supervisor, the supervisor candidate car, right, where he was like, we need new leadership, and I'm the new leader, right, and I'm like saying to myself,
You're
you're the
not
old
new.
leadership
You
team. You're not new, right? There's
you're
nothing
not
new there,
new.
right? Like, that like made me so that it was so funny. Like I was
The same
laughing
people are
so hard at that.
running.
Right, right. Vote for new leadership by voting for the same people who've been leading your community, you know? And and it was honestly so funny. And he I wish I could show everybody, but he actually took it down after I made that comment. So it's no longer there
I hope
for
you
people
made
to
it
see.
on the ad itself, right?
It was so funny. And then, it's we went from there's nothing wrong with the finances to this is the finances are it's just it's a bookkeeping error to this is we're just behind a little bit to all of a sudden this is unacceptable to I'm the only person who can fix it, like you know I don't this guy has contorted himself in
Yes.
so many different ways, right? Like I feel like I'm watching Circus Olay. Every time he comes out with a new ad to figure out ooh, how's he gonna maneuver into this one? Like, the guy was a banker 30 years ago, and he's clearly telling you the type of banker he was, right? Like, I mean, and why he didn't last in the industry.
Okay,
He
I
got
think
out.
that wait a second, let me see, when was this ad that came out? Was it just yesterday? Is a new one from
It was yeah,
yesterday?
I think it was yesterday. Yeah,
Okay, so okay.
yeah, it's not there.
Yeah, 'cause I'm on his page, he's got some other stuff in there
Yeah,
on there.
it's not there.
Okay, so no, it's not there.
So sorry.
I just wanted to make sure he didn't block you.
No, I got to his page. I just it wasn't there.
Uh,
You know, it's fine. Listen,
okay.
I listen. When you got nothing to run on, okay,
That's it.
then it just comes down to you got shit to make up. Here's the thing, okay? People can talk about transparency all they want, right? Transparency was every work session, every meeting was recorded and was posted so that the
Right,
public could view it. The agendas were posted within 24 hours, right? If we had the ability to vote at a board meeting, we voted at the board meeting.
right.
Okay? That that was how Frank ran things. That is not what they wanted. Okay? Right? Like it's pretty if people don't see if people can't see by now, right? That this whole thing was just a complete cover up, okay?
Mhm.
Then I don't even know what to, then I haven't done my job, right? Then
Yeah.
I just clearly haven't been clear with people because it's absolutely insane. It's
Oh, I know.
absolutely insane.
I know. I know. This is
I
crazy.
mean, just they have no bond rating. They've spent over $350,000 just this year to do 1 year's worth of books, okay? They
That you
still
paid
haven't
how much? How much did you
right.
pay to do the same thing?
300 Oh, yeah, like 12,000, right?
12,000. We've spent
Big
they're spent
difference.
350. You know what? Let me ask you a question, right? Do you think that was really for audits or is that there
No,
I
it
mean,
wasn't just it was the accounting. It was the accounting wasn't done right. So, accounting listen, accounting has to follow certain rules. Okay. I'm sorry. I know that this town board doesn't like rules.
right.
Okay. I really do know that. Right. I've been screaming about it for the last 8 years. Right. And I know
Yeah,
people are
I
sick
know.
of me hearing about it. Right. So I get it. But, these guys really freaking hate rules and accounting is governed by rules.
Right.
Believe it or
Right.
not, there are a lot of rules. And when you don't follow those rules, you have to fix shit. And usually what happens is it's not just as easy as, oh, I'm gonna debit here and credit here, right? It's you know, if money's in the wrong spot, you gotta figure out where the money is, and then you gotta move it to the right spot. You gotta, like, go through, you gotta reconcile all your accounts, make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. You gotta make sure that you're recording, the proper journal entries. I mean, it boggles my fucking mind. Like, it
Yeah,
boggles
mine
my
too.
mind. So, yeah, you're gonna and the longer this goes on, okay, the more money you're gonna spend. So, one of the
And we're
reasons
years into this now.
one of the reasons why they had to spend so much money, and this is what kills me, okay, is that and I've said it many, many times, and I get that people don't understand it. When you do a system conversion in accounting, okay, your closing balances in your books need to match, like, in your old set of books, right? Because you're doing a system conversion, right? In your old set of books, need to match your opening balances in your new set of books in your new system. Okay,
Okay, that makes sense.
it makes sense. Like, it's pretty clear. Uh, the town of Wallkill didn't. It didn't.
Is
Right.
anybody surprised?
So if your opening balances don't match
Right.
and your closing balances don't match your opening balances, you got a big problem. Okay. And then you have to, like, do a lot of digging. You have to figure out what's been recorded. I mean, and then you talk about, like, when I wanted to do this stuff 3 years ago, okay, it would have been easier because you wouldn't have had 3 additional years of work that's been piled on top of it.
Because they haven't done it all along.
Right. So now all of a sudden you have, like papers, like, you don't understand. Municipalities are, like, so paper driven. Like, we are not in the modern world at all.
Oh
Right?
god, really? Oh my god.
We are not in the modern world at all. There has to be a paper trail for everything, right? Like, because you have to have archives, and you have to, like,
Oh
ensure
my
the paper
god.
trail, because if somebody comes along later and foils it or whatever, you have to make sure that there's
Yeah,
a
then you
paper
have to
trail for
produce it.
everything. Right, you have to be able to produce things. So now all of a sudden you're 3 years later and you just have papers up the wazoo, and you don't know where, like, you've done your best to label stuff, but maybe something is in the wrong year. Like, it becomes really, and then even if you get your book closed, then you have to do an audit, which means that they come in and they say, okay, now go find me this. So now, after
Oh,
having
wow.
to recreate all this stuff, right? So, like, it's no wonder, like, this was absolutely expected. I talked about this nonstop, right? This is, and this isn't me saying I told you so, but it's like, this is what happens when you have mismanagement.
Right. So that begs the question, why would you wanna vote these people back in again? That's the reason why you wanna vote
Right.
row A, and let's get new people in, the
Or
same old go
why do they keep running, right? And why do they want to stay in the job so badly that they refuse to walk away and let somebody fix the broken like, listen, I don't want to be there
it's not
permanently.
like it's a lot
Like,
of
I just
money.
wanted I wanted to fix the broken train, like that was it. It was, like, literally just me wanting to go in and fix something, and these guys were like, no, nothing's broken. Right? Like, nothing's broken. Yeah, Neil's a liar. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Nothing's broken, right? Now all of a sudden they lost their bond rating. Like, they're like, and they run a banker from 30 years ago who says, listen, I can fix accounting. Like,
Oh, god.
dude, you're gonna spend another $350,000 trying to close 23 and then 24. There's a lot of work that needs to be
And
done,
that's a
and
lot of
it's
money.
right, and you need your entire board to be involved, right? This isn't something, like, you've kept it secret long enough. This has to be in public view now. Now the public needs assurance, right, that their money isn't going to be stolen or missing, right? There already was theft. How do we know
Yes.
that the controls were put in place to ensure that doesn't happen again?
We know they aren't.
Right?
And
Like,
they're
what
fighting so
policies?
hard to hold this power, which makes you
Right,
wonder why. We've seen this before, right?
right. What
Ma
policies have they put in place? What procedures have been put in place? Were they voted on by the board? Was the board included in these things? You know, has the accountant come in front of the board and said, "This is what we've done"? Has the consultant come before the board and said, "This is all the work we performed for the town." Okay, because there should be an accounting of that
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
public forum, right? Like, the public should know what their money is being spent on. You can't just sit there and say, "We spent $350,000 of your money on accounting services, but we're not going to tell you what it is," because that's a hell of a lot more than just doing a single year audit where you're getting a qualified opinion, right?
right.
And they're telling you that you have even more problems, right? Like, you haven't fixed anything.
Oh my god. Well, if you haven't voted yet, make your vote count, people.
Right.
We wanna
So
fix things.
so the last thing I want to talk about is this card, right?
Though we
So,
can we can't see it. There it is.
right, the I don't know who got this piece of fiction. Um, it's pretty much a riot. Okay, all right. He says better financial management.
Oh god.
Your team has been managing the finances for the last 50 years. Is that your way of saying that you failed? But
Yeah,
you wanna give it
really.
another but you want us to give it another try, you know? There was a really famous Republican, right, who said, right, because they've been going to this well now, right, for the last 3 election cycles. Frank is bad with women, I'm bad with women, like, they've been going to this
Oh,
well,
come on.
right, right, for the last right. So I'm gonna quote. So for anybody listening, okay, I'm gonna quote a very famous Republican who was a president. Fool me once, fool me twice, can't be fooled again.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, you got fooled twice. Okay, now they're thinking that you should be fooled again and listen to this garbage. Right. First of all, I'll tell you right now. Go look it up. There is no convictions of Frank Dondonto of anything in any
Eh,
court. All right. Putting that on a flyer is an outright bold-faced lie and is defamatory because at no
yes,
point in time was he ever convicted in any court. In fact, I would have enjoyed going to court because my report then would have been actually have come out.
right.
Okay. I would have been able to testify and my report would have come out, at which point in time everything would have fallen flat and you guys would have been charged with insurance fraud. So let's be clear on that. Okay? Um but this is open government. Okay?
Oh, it's
These are
never
this
been open.
this is the same crew, right? Like, this is the same crew, no lie. This is the same crew. We were doing Zoom meetings and Zoom work sessions. So all our meetings were open, right? Like, and they were recorded and everything like that. Once I got off the board, that all went away,
Yeah.
right? Their agendas don't get posted until an hour before the meeting, still, okay? Right? And they don't allow public comment, okay, at work sessions for you to comment on what they're voting for, which, in accordance with the law, that is actually required, right?
Wow.
Before you vote on anything, the public needs to at least 24 hours of notification, and they have to have the ability to speak on that item that you're voting on.
Got it.
Okay, right? So you're not your team isn't for open government. Your team has never been for open government, right? Not only that, right? So there is a Facebook group where town residents talk about various issues that they have, they don't respond to foils. You
Wow.
know, people submit foils, and there's never all you get is the response. Oh, we have 30 days to respond. You get the standard form letter, and then sometimes you hear back, sometimes you don't. It's like hit or miss.
Wow.
You don't even hear that they don't have something or that they won't give you something. It just, it becomes like, you know, the town, when you rent a pavilion, you have to pay, and you have to
Yeah,
provide insurance,
of
right?
course.
Like,
Okay.
and, as a political candidate myself, I refrain from using town property to do my political business. Okay. All right. Supervisor candidate Ralph Carr, he held a function on town property in a town park, right? A political function in a town park. So my question was, okay, well, there has to be a contract, there has to be a payment,
Yep.
and there has to be a insurance, proof of insurance. So I foiled and I asked for those three things.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Hey, listen, we got to listen, somebody has to keep people honest. And if you don't have a news service,
It's
then
our job.
it's up to us as constituents. And I wasn't doing it to be a dick. I wasn't even going to bring it up. Like, I mean, George went to Disney World last year in Florida, right? On the taxpayer dime. It's not like I sat there and
Wow.
like published it everywhere. It was like, oh my God, look at these receipts. Like, pff,
How much
it was
town
like,
business was going on at Disney
right,
World?
like, give me a break. It's like I do it because, I like to have the information myself,
Well, it's
you know?
also important that we, as residents of the town, hold our elected leaders accountable.
Right.
And that doesn't happen, we're quick to do that with, at the national level or the state level, but we kind of forget about the people in our own backyard. We just kind of we assume it's all being done by higher up levels, and it's not. More and more, even this has even been doing this podcast has been educational for me to learn just how involved town government is in your daily lives as residents and how much you need to rely on them. So it's so important that each and every one of us hold our elected leaders accountable. And one of those ways is what Neil's doing right here, which is a FOIL request, which means Freedom of Information Letter or Freedom of Information Act, writing and requesting information. So he's requesting uh, you know, did you spend taxpayer dollars for these events? And if so, how much? How much did it cost us?
Right. And part of doing that, and part of foiling, is not to go on Facebook and announce it everywhere, right? Part of it is the idea of holding your elected officials accountable.
Yeah.
Okay. So it comes down to this idea that it's not about trying to get you that gotcha moment. It's that idea that you come in and they know somebody is looking,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yep.
you know, it's the old right. You got to make sure, like, you don't want your kid like taking something that's not theirs, right? Like, so you got to keep an eye on them,
Yep.
and that's sort of what I was trying to do, is just keep an eye on them, make sure you got to keep people honest. Otherwise, it'll be like the kid at the table with the cookie jar.
Yes.
You leave
Yep.
him at the table for too long, you're going to be missing some cookies.
Yeah, absolutely. And we may be missing a lot of cookies. So,
Right.
like,
So that's why that's why I brought it up,
yep.
was this idea, like, and that's why I do these FOIL requests. And I'm sure Louisa hates me for doing it because, listen, town
Sorry,
clerk does
Louisa.
not, the town clerk does not have an easy job at all. Luisa Ingrassia is the town clerk in the town of Wallkill. She does not have an easy job at all, right? Because if they're not giving her the information, she can't give the information to the
Right.
public. And as the chief record keeper in town, she needs to have the information. So if there's something that isn't being given, you have to be ask why,
Right.
right? Like, why is it missing? Okay. I think the clerk needs to do a better job, right? In responding and saying, I don't have this information for you,
Right.
and then there could be a little bit more of a conversation of, well, why don't you have it? Who does have it? Right? Like, who do I make the request of? Right? Like, there has to be some type of government oversight, because there isn't.
Yeah.
There isn't.
Yeah.
There's just you.
That's it. We are the oversight because there's nobody,
Correct.
the county, state, they're not overseeing anything, especially if they're all on the same team. No worry, they can do what they want. It's like the old boy network is back. So so you got anything else there about this?
Um, Not really, I mean, you know, just the same crap about Frank, the lies about Frank. I will tell you this, right? Because they keep bringing up the Frank harassment thing. You know, here's what here's the thing. George and the town are being sued right now, right? Because they fired somebody who was black. Okay,
Oh,
and there were two people hired at the same time, and they had really no grounds to fire her. From what I understand, she had already passed her probationary period. Okay,
okay.
all right. um Apparently, right around the time that she was fired, right, the supervisor sent a letter saying that they were extending her probation like one
Okay.
day just to fire her, right? Like that, right? That's how crazy and stupid this is.
Wow. The
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Now
these are
when did
not
this
good people.
happen? When did this
This
happen?
happened last year. Yeah,
Last year.
last year. These are not good people. They're just not good people. They don't treat people right. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
and
That's demonstrated in the town meetings when they're questioned. They tend to we've
right.
seen them we've seen it right on the clips that we've shown where people are getting sort of talking spoken down to by these
Well,
people.
that's the thing. Isn't it interesting that 27, mostly women, right, left town hall since George took office. Okay?
27? I didn't even know it was that much. I knew there was a lot.
For a municipality, right, to lose that much institutional knowledge, right, and to lose
Yeah.
that many people. And these weren't people like retiring. These are people who decided, like, you know what? Like, the benefits aren't worth this.
Excuse me.
I'm going to go to another government agency. They all went to other government agencies,
So we
right? Or
lost
other
we lost talent.
municipalities. So it was, they wanted to get rid of anybody who talked back against them, wouldn't agree with them, anybody who made them look bad, right? Like, they talk about these things. Like, I'll give you an example. All right. There was a a very nice lady who worked in the accounting department. Okay, it was her last day. She was 10 minutes left in her day, right, on her last day. Okay, she was called into the office with Eric Valentin and Supervisor Serrano. Okay, right, with the comptroller at the time, right, the new comptroller, the new whatever the hell, right, and they threatened her, they berated her, like, they made her, like, she was in tears. She left town hall in tears. That's okay for these people. That's okay. That type of behavior is absolutely okay, that they made her cry, right, to the point where they were told directly that what they did was absolutely 100% unacceptable, okay, and that there should have been a union rep there,
Yeah.
right, when they did it, okay? Because this woman was in her union. Fuck them,
Wow.
okay? I'm sick and tired of these. These people don't talk about their stories because they've moved on. okay? They don't want to hear about the town of Wallkill anymore, okay? They don't want to be involved with this nonsense anymore because it is nonsense, right? They came to work every day. They were dedicated, right? They wanted to work hard for their municipality, right?
Right.
They wanted to earn the money that they were working for every day, and they were
Yeah.
let down by their board, by Serrano, by Valentin, by Coyne, and by Johnson, right? By not putting policies and procedures in place, not giving them the opportunity to succeed, and making sure that they were properly trained and that there was a properly organized department for them to work in. Okay? Nobody wants to come to work to chaos every day. Nobody wants to come to work to abuse every day.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's what they've been giving people. That's why so many people left. If you were to take a survey of all those people that left, they would all say that Frank was a great guy.
There you go. There you go.
Right? That they enjoyed working with Frank. You can go to his Facebook page. They're commenting saying, "Wish you luck, Frank. Hope you do well."
Yeah.
Do they work for the town anymore? No, because George got rid of them. Because they wouldn't support his line that Frank was a bad guy. Right? You know, that report that they keep touting, it's very interesting that absolutely nobody in the accounting department was a witness to anything. Right?
Yeah.
They were all scheduled to testify at the trial before they
went and quick
settled,
and
right?
wrote her a
Before they
check.
settled, right? They were all ready to testify in Frank's favor, right? And then all of a sudden, the insurance company comes in, right? Who's the president of the insurance company again?
Oh,
I always
yeah.
forget that,
Oh,
right?
I think de pew pew. Pew pew.
Right? You know, the insurance company came in and paid her off.
Wow.
Okay, right? I'm really sick and tired of this narrative, right? Because it's such it's such crap.
Yeah.
It's such crap, you know?
So, yeah. So
Sorry.
it's
Sorry for the rant.
no, it's, you know what? We got to get this stuff out. So seriously, we're in the midst of early voting. We still got another week. I don't know if you want, if you haven't voted yet, check out the TOWTalk podcast Facebook page. I put there's a chart there. Also, the town of Wallkill United has a list of the schedule for early voting. So get out there and make your voice heard. Vote row A.
And remember, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't be fooled again.
Shit. Can't be
So
fooled again. Yeah.
Don't be fooled again, right? You've now heard the same story, same lies from them 3 elections in a row. Okay? At some point, even a rational person recognizes that they're being lied to and says, you know, it's 1 year. I'm going to give these other guys a shot, right? To see if something different can happen, right? And we can shed a little bit of light, just a little bit of light, since it's 1 year, maybe a little bit of light as to what's actually really going on, right?
And are we being overtaxed?
Right? And
Let's not forget that.
and then go from there. And then next year we get to go through all this crap again.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Just
We'll
for
be-
fun, just for shits and giggles.
And we'll be here every step of the way. Also, folks, I don't know if you caught us on Sunday. We tested going live streaming. We did actually 2 sessions. We had a lot of fun with that. So I think we're gonna set up a schedule, and I'll talk about it off camera here. But we'll set up a schedule. I'll get it posted on the TOWTalk podcast Facebook page, also in other places, and just give you an opportunity to come in and engage with us. We want to hear from the town. We want to hear even from people outside the town, and because things that are happening. Let me tell you something. If you're watching this podcast from anywhere else in the country, and you live in a small municipality or a medium one, this shit happens everywhere. Okay? So if you're not engaged in your local municipality, guess what? Just follow us. We'll tell you all the shit that's going on. All right? And then
Breaking news, there's just crap everywhere.
yeah, it's really So, anyway,
So
thanks so much.
can I
Oh,
can I just say
oh, yeah.
one of my friends, he likes to say, right, every time you uncover something, it's like finding a Snickers wrapper in the ocean, right? Because 'Cause you're still fucking surrounded by garbage.
Yeah. Yep. Mhm.
So that Snickers wrapper doesn't make a difference, but it just gets you a little bit closer.
Yep.
You know, let's take it one wrapper at a time. Let's vote row A. Let's try to see if maybe we can fix what little we have here at home.
That sounds good. All right, folks. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment, click on that little bell so you get notified so we can annoy you with notifications every single time we post something new. All right. Love you guys, and we will see you soon. I'll get that schedule up. Take care.
Peace out.